Hello. Um, so I'm super excited that so many of y'all are asking questions about keto because I've been doing keto I believe that I started the end of January, the 1st of February. I was originally just kind of like watching calories, things like that. Thought that I was doing good, but still didn't feel good, and knew that there was something different that I needed to do to get that to the way that I wanted to feel. And then started reading a lot of books and kind of how food affects your body and your body's performance. And so I researched tons and tons of things, and everything kept on coming back to doing this keto diet. So then started researching it and what I needed to do to kind of start that journey. And at first look, it's overwhelming, and I think, well, it is a lot like Atkins, and my mom did Atkins and things like that, and back in the 2000s and late 90s, and had a lot of success off of it. But there wasn't that sustained success, and I was like, well, there's something else to this. And the more research that I did, found out, that keto is really nothing like Atkins. Yes, you put, you know, you're eating bacon and things like that, and but it's more focused on your fat. So your macros are what keto people or people that are watching everything that they're putting into their body, that's what they use a term a lot that you'll hear is macros. And what that is your calories, your fat, your protein, and your carbs. Um, your breakdown. So, in your MyFitnessPal, whatever app you use to track your food, sorry, I just ate lunch. Um, you're going to set your macros at 75% fat, 20% protein, 5% carbs. So that's going to bring you to having 20 net carbs or less per day. And so what you're doing is everything that you put into your body has some carb form, unless it's like meat and cheese. Some cheese only has one carb, some you can find has none. Um, but pretty much everything else has carbs in it. So you're watching your carb count to make sure that you're keeping them under 20. Um, you're not going to have as much protein. There's really kind of explaining it to people, it's really kind of like a science, to where you're calculating everything that you're putting into your body, um, to get it to where you have more fat, a significantly less amount of protein, and the smallest amount of carbs. So, on all the meal plans that I've posted, they're all keto meal plans. I keep the calories to around 1200. Fats, I always try to get, I'm supposed to get like 200, but I don't know how I'm ever going to do that unless I just like eat pure butter, but that's disgusting. Um, and then I'm supposed to have like 120 grams of protein a day, for my height to weight ratio. Um, and they say to find your protein is zero point 0.8 times the amount that you weigh. So I'll just do it real fast to know the exact amount that I'm supposed to have, but I never actually consume. Um, so I'm doing zero point 0.8 times 164. That comes out to be 131.2 grams of protein. That's what's the healthy amount of protein. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, we're supposed to get 60. Well, you're getting 30, 130. So that's pretty impressive. And the fact if most of y'all are gastric or sleeve patients, you're not absorbing that protein. They recommend that you get the 60 because you're pushing your protein out. You're not absorbing. So if you can get more than that, that's even more gravy. I mean, that's pretty good. So I try to push for as high as I can without getting sick, but of eating, because it's like, oh gosh, it's way too much food. But um, so all of my meal plans are based on that. So it has the calories, carbs, fat, and protein along with portion sizes. A lot of times I'll include the portion sizes. Now remember that you're supposed to have 3 ounces of protein. Spinach, eat as much as you want. I mean, like, spinach is nothing. Think about when you cook spinach in a skillet, it cooks down. Um, on keto, I will say, if you don't know that much about what are approved things that you can eat on keto, anything green, spinach, kale, arugula, cabbage, celery, asparagus, um, anything that's green is acceptable. Anything that has colors other than green are going to be your things that are higher in carbs. And I know I've made a lot of videos on like the effects of high glycemic carbs as opposed to low glycemic carbs, what that does on your body, how your body's insulin has to be, you know, how your body breaks that down. So with keto, what you're trying to do is to create no insulin response. So you're not wanting to have a spike in your sugar. You're not wanting your liver to increase its insulin by anything that you're putting in your body. So by restricting your carbs means that your liver's not going to be producing the insulin to break down the carbs to use for fuel. Your body is going to be using the fat stores for fuel. So ketosis is where you have entered into a state of being able to use your fat as your fuel, which is what you want. And I know you've all heard me say that about your freezer, your refrigerator space versus your freezer space. That's keto, okay? We're wanting to use the freezer space. So how do we get there? How do we get to that point? Well, you're going to increase your fats. So you're going to try to get your macros done to know how many calories you should have a day. And then base your macros off of the 75, 20, and 5. And you can put that all into your MyFitnessPal. Now, I do know that MyFitnessPal is total carbs, not net carbs. So I do average around like 10 carbs per day. So a lot less than the 5%. But, which is great, you know, but I'm eating salads out the wazoo. I mean, today actually, I grilled some steak last night for dinner and made some asparagus and put butter. I made this like garlic butter and it was so good, and brought it for lunch today and just had some steak with some butter on it and some asparagus, and it was really good. Um, and so once you get to the point of where you've done this for a couple of weeks, you'll enter into ketosis, and your body's going to be using its fat for fuel. So you don't have to use as much fat in your diet as you did at the beginning if you have an excess amount of fat on your body. And if you are, for those of you that are on here that are already thin and you're just wanting it for the mental clarity, then you will need to keep your fat intake up higher, because you don't have as much fat to store, you know, to use as fuel. So you'll need to put in the same amount of fat through the whole process. Because like for me, I'm not looking to lose weight, so I keep my fat at the same rate. So that's why this is good for y'all to see what my meal plans are if you're just starting out, because I keep the fat high. Um, and then now I'm on just a keto life journey, which is different than if I was, because since I have been doing this for so long and have become fat adapted, meaning that my body, even if I up the carbs, say on one day, I'm fast to go back into ketosis, meaning that my body is just going to use that as fuel anyway. Um, so that's our ultimate goal when starting keto. When you're starting keto, is to become fat adapted, and that can take 2-3 months to get to that point, even up to a year. I mean, so it just depends on how hardcore that you do it, how strict you are with your plan. Um, and I will say that if you are doing this, then the first month is going to be hard because you're used to having carbs. You're used to, and you've probably been doing calorie restriction, but maybe not this low of carb restriction, or maybe even low carb. But that's not the same as keto. And so you're going to have some side effects that happen within the first month. Um, and that's why I push, drinking Propel water. I drink one twice a day, once in the morning, once in the afternoon. If I get a slight headache, I drink pickle juice to try to up my sodium intake. And I know a lot of people are like, well, that's a lot of sodium. Well, you're peeing a ton, and your electrolytes are going. Think about when you have like diarrhea or something. When you have that, all your electrolytes are getting flushed out of your body constantly, so you have to replenish your electrolytes. It's the same thing, it's just that you're peeing nonstop. So you have to up your electrolytes. So I take a magnesium supplement at nighttime because it helps you sleep also. And I put salt on everything to try to up my salt intake. And then sometimes if I feel bad, I'll have like a bouillon cube and put it in water to try to up my salt intake. And I haven't really noticed anything with potassium, just because the Propel waters and things like that. I don't take a potassium supplement. But anyway, so let's talk about food. So with keto, you're going to change your lifestyle completely. Um, and this is where it's great for bariatric patients because it's pretty much a diabetic diet, sugar free. So you're going to have things that are sugar free items. But along with keto, we try to only use stevia as a sweetener or erythritol. Because and this just goes, and I know you've watched a ton of my videos, so you know that I'm not a supporter of anything that has aspartame in it. And things that have like maltitol in it, those are all things that are going to kind of hurt your stomach and give you gas, bloating, and diarrhea and things like that, and who wants that? And plus, those things stick in your stomach and stay there and kind of ferment, and that's why you get bloated really easily, and so nobody wants that. So you're restricting all of your sugar. They have really good sugar-free barbecue sauce, sugar-free ketchup, and you're going to try to have things that have the no carbs. If you're going to have Premier Protein shakes are still fine. I'll make my matcha smoothies out of those. They're low carb. They are sweetened with sucralose, which is kind of like a controversial subject right now on sweeteners. But like my Propel water has sucralose in it. So, and what sucralose is Splenda. So I don't know if you have heard, that some people are saying that that's not a good sweetener to use anymore. But I'm still going to use it because it's in so much stuff. And I think the electrolyte balance that I get from that, or the extra protein that I get from a Premier Protein, outweighs the possible gas and bloating that the sucralose could cause. And it does increase your blood glucose a little bit. The sucralose does. So, but so no sugar, and then you can have practically whatever meat that you want, and then your green vegetables. And you're going to increase your fat. So you're going to have olive oil, coconut oil. You can eat tons of olives, because obviously that's olive oil. Um, what was, I'm trying to think. I didn't write this down today. I'm just kind of doing the spur of the moment. I make fat bombs out of butter. And I always make sure that it's real butter. You can't use old country crock, because that's not real butter. So we're not going to use margarine or anything like that. You can use like Kerrygold. That's a grass-fed butter, so that's really good to use. I did see at Aldi the other day, my mom pointed out when we went to the grocery store, that their brand of butter is actually really good. It's probably not grass-fed, but it's a good butter. So buy that, if you don't want to spend the almost $3 on the Kerrygold butter per little block, and the ones at like Aldi's are like $2 for 4 sticks, so it's a pretty good deal. But so Caesar salad dressing is normally just one carb. I use the Marys that you get like in the salad section. And blue cheese dressing, that's a great fat. They're rocking like 14 grams of fat. So that if you have a salad with spinach, and spinach is practically nothing, and put some of that on there, blue cheese dressing with maybe some feta, and if you want to add some meat, then great. If you want to put maybe a couple of raspberries or blueberries or blackberries on there, then that's even more better. I mean, that's what keto is. Is you're gonna try to get as many vegetables, that are green in. Count those in your carbs because they do have carbs. They do range around like 3 carbs for most of those, but like the fact of it though, like as far as the amount, when you're talking about these leafy greens, when you're chewing them, they're going down to nothing. So, like I say, the first week that you're doing it, I fill up a zippy bag, like a sandwich bag. Not the little snack bags, but like a sandwich bag of spinach. I like pack it in there, and that's what I bring for my salads for lunch. I mean, that's a lot of spinach. Um, and one thing I will say that I've noticed since I've done keto, not only has it given me this mental clarity that I never thought that I could have, and this energy that is like crazy ridiculous, but I feel different. Like my body, I haven't lost any weight. Like I go from like 168 to 164 like daily. It's ridiculous. I mean, like one time I'll get on and it's like I'll be excited it's 164, and then it's 168, and then it's back down to one. It's ridiculous. But and so I'm just trying to realize that that's not gonna change. The scale's not gonna change. I'm not gonna lose any more weight. But I notice that I look different though. Like the way that my body is shaped looks different. And so that's cool. I probably should have like measured and things like that before I started this, since I haven't really lost any weight. But that in itself, but the thing that I want to stress the most about starting this journey and why this is my passion is never in my life have I ever thought that I would feel this good. I mean, I've always been kind of like a procrastinator. I wait till the last minute to get things done. I constantly am chasing like, all types of things going on in my brain at one time. But the focus that I have now, and I've never been like on ADHD medicine or ADD medicine or anything like that, like my kids, but the focus that I have now is out of this world, and like just feeling of happy. Like I was like skipping down the hall the other day at school and it's like I'm freaking skipping because I'm so happy. I mean, this is crazy. That's not like what? And so I wouldn't trade that for anything. And I think that's all what we all want, is just to feel good. And I've got that with this. And I'm not going to be doing anything else. I know that seem obsessive about it, but when I know something works, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to recommend it. And this has changed my life. I'm currently doing a lot of things that I never thought that I would be doing. Currently, I've got the first week done of a 21-day plan, because it does take a lot of work, and it's turned out to be like a book instead of like just a couple page plan. This is like turning out to be a book. But hopefully, that will be done in the next couple of weeks. And I'm really excited about that, and I think it's going to help a lot of people. And because I haven't seen anything out there that's like this, especially geared towards gastric patients, and people with ADHD, this is all going to help us become the best people that we can. And it's just a few things that you have to figure out, but with the plan, you'll learn how to do it yourself. And it's very comprehensive on step by step how to do this, what to expect along the way. And I haven't seen anybody else doing that. So I'm pretty stoked about it. But I will post what I have so far so that y'all can research it. And some people that are great that I follow are this couple called Keto Connect on YouTube, and also Thomas DeLauer is one of the leading people on YouTube for keto and intermittent fasting. So look them up, get some more research done on why you think you need to switch over to this lifestyle, and then once you do, I'm here to help you and get started. So have a great day. Bye.